your hard work. Thank you so much. We have to give you applause. I have been to the Bronx Community College many, many years ago. This is like a homecoming for me. Do you hear me good? I have soft voice. Anyway, I started with President William, and we established the Amadou Diallo Scholarship Program here. Been working with Jean Adam and students coming back every year. And then for a while, there was a lapse. And I went away, taking care of being a grandmother. I'm a proud grandmother of triplets. And I'm back again with President Joseph Barrow. Thank you so much for your accommodation and your leadership. And I know we are going to continue the journey here. I'm very, very pleased to come back. Today is the Women Empowerment Day celebration at the campus. We brought our smiles, our African clothes, even the big hair tie, because we want to combine Black History Month and Women History Month together for you so that we can celebrate and shine.
Great.
I come from Guinea, West Africa. I was given off to be married at the age of 13. I was on 8th grade that time. I was given as a second wife to a very successful businessman who was living then in a country where it's different language spoken because it was English. English is not my first language. Guinea is a French-speaking country. And so I was taken away to a different country, different people, and I left behind my family, my mother, my father, my sisters and brothers. I used to dance and laugh and just sing with my friend and go to school, do like school play. Overnight, everything stopped. I had to start a new life. I believe that experience shaped my life and gave me the strength, because later on I will be challenged. The challenge to be a mother of a baby at the age of 16 years old. And the challenge to raise my children because my husband was so busy traveling all the time. And the challenge of becoming a single mom after the divorce and starting a business in Thailand with my children. Then in the end, when everything was said and done, when I was taking a deep breath and saying everything was okay, my son told me he had a dream. He wanted to go to America. After he graduated from the French International School in Thailand, he went to Singapore because his father was living there then. And he took some computer sciences courses. And then he had a degree, and he wanted to continue in an American college. This is why Amadou traveled to come to establish himself here in September 26, 1998. He was only 22 years old. Amadou came to the United States and established himself in the Bronx at 1157 Weller Avenue. He was not by himself alone. He was living with his cousins and his uncles. They shared food, they shared stories about back home. He was very excited. He was working hard. He was selling in the street, saving money for college. He said to me, I want to start over and be a man, because in our tradition, especially the first child, if he's a man, he will be the one who can take over the family. He said, I do not need help. I just need your prayers and your blessings. I was so proud. My son was paying his bills. He never had any criminal record, not even a traffic ticket. He was a very energetic and driven person who was ready to go to college. At the time of his death, he had saved $9,000. You can imagine that, because everybody here in this room know what I'm talking about. Because when you come to America, you don't live for free. You have to pay your bills. You have to pay for food. And then, on top of that, he had saved that much money. So I was really, really proud of Amadou. Amadou spoke 5 languages: French, English, our native tongue, Spanish, and Thai. He was a gifted child. He can be in a room here full of people, quiet, but he registered every single word that people talk around. Very smart. That night, on February 4th, 1999, Amadou came home very tired, and he put his bag down. His cousin, who was supposed to cook dinner for them, was traveling to Atlanta to visit a sister of her. Then Amadou said, "I'm tired, but I'm hungry. I want to step out for something to eat." Then Kujabi from Gambia, his roommate, said, "All right, well, the next day, if you have time, can you pay the bill, utility bill for us?" He said, "Of course, I'll do that." That was the last time he had spoken to Amadou. Amadou stepped out to get something to eat. On the way back, fate, destiny, or just something unexplainable happened. He and those 5 officers met and ended up killing my son, who was unarmed and had no criminal record. I was in Guinea then, doing my business. I have a venture with Australian mining company, and I was doing my business. That morning when the call came, I was in Guinea. It must have been about 7 a.m. I picked up the phone, and there was a cousin of mine from New York. He said, "Is there any man in the house?" My heart started pounding. In our culture, if you said that, which means you are going to tell the bad news. So I said to him, "Why are you calling at this time?" Because I know the difference of time between Guinea and America. It must be like very, very early in New York. If Amadou called at this, if you call at this time, it's not Amadou, then it is about Amadou. What happened to my child? He said no. He hung up. I called him back. He hung up. I called him the 3rd time. I said, "I believe in God. I have faith. Tell me, is my son sick? Is he in the hospital? Was there a car accident that I should know?" He said no. And he kept silent. I gathered all my strength within my heart, and I said the word that I don't want to be truth. I said, "My son died." He kept silent. Then I knew. From then, why I told you my life was shaped to be given at early age and going to a different country to start a new life, I believe that was the foundation to prepare me for what will happen in the future. I have never been to a rally before in my life. But when I traveled to New York and I saw the coverage of my son's story, I cannot stop talking. I said he was more than how he was described. The stereotype that was labeled on my son was unbelievable. Many people didn't find out that he was a college student that came to this country. First of all, it was, "These are poor family. Oh my God, his mother is in the village struggling. He's a poor guy. He does not communicate very well. Maybe he don't understand what the police officers were telling him. Maybe that's what happened." And everything unfolded slowly. Since then, we have been out there, like Obina said, to tell Amadou's story, to tell the world who he was, because it's our duty to give us back our story. Because yes, when a child is taken away from you and the story is stolen, the mother what she can do is only to try to give her some back history. And I share this story because Obina said many people maybe don't understand, or maybe people have forgotten what happened. So this is why I share it. Coming back to today now, that was then. Today, we still think about these issues because Mrs. Ba is here, Hawa Ba. Her son Mohammed Ba was also killed. Before Mohammed Ba, many people, innocent people have been killed. We have to find a balance between gun violence and law enforcement violence. And this is where the Amadou Diallo Foundation is stepping in and trying to set up programs. We are glad to be in the college now back here, and we will establish programs that we can promote and help the community and police and community relations to be tightened to prevent these incidents from happening again. I want to say thank you to all these wonderful ladies that are in the workforce that are doing wonderful job. I am told that many honorees today are people from the healthcare department, education, and media. Empowerment of women is important because we have to shape our life and set a role model example for our daughters and our sons. The challenge I find while talking to many people in my community is how do we balance between business life and family. We have our children, they are growing up at home, and we are busy every day. What are we doing to help these children grow up and be grounded, to understand the difference between being American, African-American, and being American-African. I believe our children who are born here are African-American because they are African before they are American. We have to teach them the culture. We have to teach them not to forget from where they're coming from. At the same time, teach them how to be involved in the life here, like voting, education, empowerment. Everything is important. So Obina, I really add to your voice of how to teach our young children to be involved in all these different components because it's important. The culture is important. Now, coming back to the couple life, African couples, we have problem between our husbands and ourselves because they want us to live like back home, but yet we are here. You agree? So, how do we make a man who comes from the back home here understand that sometimes, honey, you need to take the garbage out? Because really, this is what we have to do, because we have to connect the dots. Because I'm leaving early, I'm working early, and you're working late, so we have to compromise. How do we tell them sometimes I will make the sauce, and when you come home, you can make the rice, honey. You can feed yourself. Sometimes it's complicated. So just for the humor part, I'm just telling you that not even our husbands only, our brothers also. Yes. Sometimes they don't understand. If we eat, we finish eating, we cannot just leave the plate in the sink and say, oh, my sister is going to come and wash it. If you tell them to wash it, they say, come on, what about Africa? You are changing because you are in the U.S.? Oh, no. I'm changing because both of us are paying the bills. We have to help each other. So, congratulations to the woman. I want to leave you with a quote that Oprah said that I read that I really love. Women like Malala Yousafzai in Pakistan, when she was told that she cannot be in school that schools need to be burned. She said, I'm